Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Medium by Design. So today's inspiration just happened as I met the older man who I met the other day, the one that asked about me giving messages. And that's an earlier video. If you want that, you can go back and look at that. So here's the conversation today. And if you don't know that you're accepting a program, and that's the other day's video, you can look at that. Everything's a program now. So this conversation, he brings up numbers, COVID numbers, and deaths, and how horrible, everything is horrible, right? And I said, well, I went to 2 social gatherings, one with young people and one with my crowd, my older crowd. And I asked about individual experiences and deaths. And nobody had a story. Yeah, we might know somebody older that had problems or somebody younger that had problems and they died. But we also heard of people that had it or know people that had it that are fine. So this gentleman watches his news sources and he has a doom gloom and he's wearing his mask outside where there's no one around. That's the latest. Let's just wear the mask all the time even though we're not around any people. And I'm sorry if you get offended or triggered by what I have to say, but remember, I don't care, okay? You're choosing your reality, and my people, both the young and the old now, they're having amazing lives with no illness. So choose wisely. So he had the doom and gloom, so I brought up the Arizona Department of Health website that one of my gal pals told me to look at that has all the graphs and all the numbers. And it seems to be a little more honest than some of the crap that's out there because it had the numbers really high at one time where we had 5,000, back in July, 5,000 in one day. And it has different graphs for different information, like how many hospitalizations today, how many deaths today, how many new cases. It's a very organized website. And now for the last, 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, the numbers are going down, down, down. We're not seeing 1,000 new cases a day. That's all gone. That's all history. And I know some of you will write and say, oh, but we're going to have a second wave. And it's going to be worse. Well, maybe in your town it will be worse because everybody knows there's a second wave coming to that town. But it's not going to be everybody's town, and it's not going to be everybody's reality. And that's the thing that people are not getting. You are part of your reality. You are part of the equation. And you are an individual. And you have the ability to create the kind of experience you want to have through this period. And I'll be honest with you, I had days of fear and dread. I experienced it, but that's gone. Whatever that was, it passed through and it's gone. I'm not saying it'll never come back. Sometimes you have a day of fear. Sometimes something triggers you and that's what you have. But for those of us that are still somewhat level-headed, it would be nice if we maintained the idea that we're moving through an experience and not trapped in a doom-gloom, long-lasting, horrible, horrendous, negative experience. You know, it's amazing to me how people, they don't understand their ingrained programs, as I spoke about the other day. And now you see those programs playing out with an intensity that you never saw before. So people that truly are believing and knowing that we are in the worst experience of any year, of any point in history, that's what they see. And that's all they see. Meanwhile, they're healthy, they're walking their dogs. Hi. You know, we're still living our lives, we're still enjoying the day. You know, and the disaster that's all over is not all over. You know, it's not every town, it's not every person, it's not every family. And then, all right, I'm going to take it to another level. If you don't understand the level of the soul and the level of the spirit, and you don't understand that the soul makes choices that can override the personality, there are things happening. I'm passing the goats again, but I don't have the carrots, so I'm not going to stop. You know, spirit can override. The soul can override. And if you're not in touch with your soul and you don't know what your soul's plan is, then you'll be surprised a lot. You know, things will surprise you and you'll just feel like, oh, I have no control over anything. Which, in reality, part of that is true. The only thing you have control over is training your mind to act and think and be something different. The rest of it, you got a little wiggle room, let's say. But, you know, the mind is really the important thing. And then the second thing that's important in creating our reality and experiencing is our sense, our heart. And so the man that I bump into now on a regular occasion, he is a very smart and very brain-oriented man. And he's looking at numbers and he sees data, and that's the data. He's not thinking about how beautiful his own life is, even though he's mourning his wife who died last year. He's not thinking about, isn't this amazing how peaceful our experience is around us, and how everybody in the morning is nice and friendly and loving and caring, and they're getting up and they're taking their day by the balls and exercising and being out and watching the sunrise. No, I'm going to ignore all that and just walk around with everybody's dying, which is a lie. And that's a program. Not everybody's dying. Even the numbers will tell you that. Not everybody's dying. Not everybody's getting sick. And they don't tell you why. They make up stuff, you know. Not everybody's getting sick. And you know, this goes out to the gays. We already lived through all this shit. You know, we went through AIDS and that whole debacle, you know. That was a disaster for the gay community and for other people, but you know, mostly for the gays because they lost the most numbers at the time. And then there are those of us that are alive today that there's nothing, we didn't have any experience at all. We just had a lot of witnessing, you know, of the sadness and the people dying. So we've been down this road before, you know. We know that, yeah, some people are going to die and it's going to be pretty ugly. But a lot of us are still here all these years later. And a lot of people are alive and still kicking, and they are carrying that virus. Or I'll just leave that at that they're carrying something and still dealing with that. And a lot of them are fine. So, you know, it's you choose. Do you want to see the doom and gloom, and do you want to be scared of everything and wear your mask when you're alone? And if you don't see the ridiculousness of that, again, I don't care. I don't care. You choose the reality you want. And, this is coming from somebody that's from New Jersey and a family that is not the most positive group. And my family members, you can write and say anything you want to, but let's face it, our family was a bunch of ornery and sometimes nasty. Not all of them, especially not the women. The women were better. But some of those men in our family were just downright crazy, mean. They were Italian. What can I say? They have a streak. And so, I know what it is to be whiny, moany, bitchy, complaining, negative. I had that trait. I had it for many, many years, and I didn't like it. I did not like, I didn't like realizing that even that was a program. I was programmed that this is how our family is. We scream, we are angry at everything, we snap, we yell. Well, now I realize I don't have to be like that. That program is no longer running. And I'm not saying I don't have bad days. And I'm not saying I never get angry. I'm just saying that is not my go-to response. And many people out there have their go-to response so on the ready and so ready to attack. And let me tell you something, that's not going to make it. That is not going to make it into 2021. That attitude and that way of being, well, why don't we just see how this all plays out? But choose the day you want to have. Choose the information that resonates to what you believe we're going through. And then do the best you can. I talked to my 80-year-old friend in Florida yesterday. And nobody's sick there either. They live in a nice community. Everybody's friendly. And they're building new houses there. There's new energy going into the area, old area. Not north, but northern Florida. And beautiful news from him. And he's 80. So that's what I choose to focus on. And those are the people I choose to listen to. And, when I get up in the morning, I program the kind of day. And somebody mentioned that I didn't explain the 360 prayer. So I'll end with this. I hope you all know what a circle is. And what 360 degrees, that's all the degrees of a circle. I really don't have time to teach basic geometry, so please, if you don't know what a circle is, look it up. So if you're into the manifesting game and learning how to manifest and learning how to open yourself up, because remember, our bodies are changing. That's the part that people don't talk about, especially in the news. No one's talking about the cellular changes and the evolutionary changes that the human is going through. No, we don't discuss that because that doesn't make sense to the logic people. They don't want to talk about it. But the scientists, they know, a lot of them know, and they're not being interviewed. They're not on the news because it's not scary. It's actually very true and very logical and very easy to understand. But we don't want you to know the truth about that, so we won't talk about it. But the truth is that our bodies are changing, and they do that every so many thousands of years, and the Earth does the same thing, except this one happens to be a little more intense than some of the others. So if we're taking manifestation and the law of attraction to a new level, because even that's changing, then in your meditation or your prayer or your visualizing, you see all the blessing, all the positive, all the financial freedom, all the gifts, all the loving people coming from 360 degrees around you, right? So I said the other day that I was talking about horizontal and vertical. Vertical is a circle around you, top to bottom. And you sit with that in your prayer and meditation. And you realize that goodness and loving experiences and money and joy and happiness and all the good things in life can come from anywhere at any time. But you don't just say it. See, this is the problem with manifesting and affirmations. Affirmations and stating the truth that you want is the first stage. But then you have to embody that. Now let's take a minute on that, and I'll try to wrap this up. Every belief and every program, as I mentioned in the other video, as soon as you say yes to it, it becomes you. And never mind that dog. You embody it. So the things that your family did, and then you're carrying those behaviors, you're saying yes to that. You're saying, well, that's just how the family is and that's how I am. Okay, now you just embodied that. And the only way to get rid of that is to say, no, that's not really me. I'm more these traits. And you let those traits raise to the surface, and then you become that, which is actually the more truer expression of you. So with this 360 prayer, or any prayer or affirmation, you sit and you accept that truth more than words. Okay? So you accept it on a level that you expect the goodness to come. You're already putting your heart into the belief of, yeah, things are much better than I thought. And when I go to the store, or when I go for this walk, and somebody talks to me and has a conversation, it can be joyful and blissful, and I can be surprised by the animals and whatever else is around to bring me what I asked for. So the same things happen in the stores. If you do this periodically throughout the day or before you walk into a store, remember, it doesn't matter when you do it, you can do it all day long. You will more often, once you really embody this truth, you will experience it more and more and more. So remember the circle, remember the 360 degrees of blessing, joy, receptivity, and that you are that. And you make that your mantra, and see if you can shift yourself. And if you don't like it, and if it doesn't make any sense, of course, throw it away. These are just the things I do that worked for me. I had some pretty cool manifestations in 2020 that I didn't know were going to come as soon as I said the prayer. And the kitchen job is one of them. And a couple of readings here and there, and great conversations with people and meeting new people. So once I got out of my own little fear bubble of the world is ending and everybody's dying, once I got out of that, and I realized, no, it's not. I'm still here. There's nothing wrong with me. And people that I meet, everybody seems pretty good. I'll just stay on that train, in that reality. I hope this is not blinding, because the sun came up. I'm a little late. So anyway, I think that's enough for today. And see what choices your mind wants to go to. Observe yourself and your reality, and then start working on changing that. Because we need to realize we're going through something, and most of us are going to make it. Most of us are going to make it. That's the truth. Some will not, but that's not everybody. So one day I'll explain the soul level a little deeper about why souls leave. So for now, enjoy your day, make your choice, and let's have some good manifestation stories to tell. There's much more to come on the medium by design, and I really appreciate you watching. Enjoy your day.